Hello, church. It's Pastor Steve here with our Monday Minute for May the 16th of 2022. First, I want to thank Ali Belsky for filling in for me last week. We really appreciate that. And as I am getting ready to do this Monday Minute today, I realized I only have a few more weeks left to go of the Monday Minute here before I'll be moving on, and we'll be having some other guest folks coming in doing the Monday Minute for the month of June. But nonetheless, we are here today, and I'm glad you're taking this time to join in and tune into what's happening here at the Life of Newburgh this week. First of all, I want to remind everyone that Confirmation Sunday is coming up this coming Sunday, May 22nd. We hope that you'll have the chance to join us in worship as we celebrate that milestone of faith for a couple of our youth who have been part of this confirmation process here over the last several months. We are going to be having a blood drive coming up also on Sunday, June the 5th. We encourage you to be in worship for that day, which is also Pentecost Sunday, and then you can schedule your time to give blood and help save a life as well. And we're really proud of Newburgh's legacy in supporting all these blood drives here over the years. On June 12th, we are going to be recognizing our high school graduates and awarding our scholarships for our college students and secondary education students as well. That day is also going to be a special day for me, as that will be my last Sunday here at Newburgh as your pastor. And we'll encourage you to join us that evening from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. in Guthrie Hall as we have a time of celebration and farewell. So please do mark those dates on your calendars, and we'll have more information forthcoming about June the 12th and what all that entails. So stay tuned for that as well. Now, today, I wanted to reflect a little bit on some current events that people have been asking me about. First of all, and what's on our mind the most right now, is we have once again in this country been confronted with gun violence. But not just random gun violence. This was planned and premeditated, and a attack on our society, as it has been referred to, and specifically targeting minority groups. We need to do better in a lot of ways, I must say. And it is time for us, as followers of Jesus, to continue to find the opportunities to affect change in our society, both in terms of our gun laws and how easy it is to access them, but also in terms of our speech, our rhetoric. What makes people feel empowered to take a life just at will because they feel that they can? This is a larger problem that has to be addressed on both sides of the issue. Not just one, not just the other. Thoughts and prayers are not good enough. Our thoughts and prayers have to be put into action, not only in terms of how we speak to one another and how we treat one another, but how we value the lives of those who, let's face it, everybody has a different life than we do. And if we can stop judging and judge ourselves, that will lead us to a better place. And in the same token, we can do our part to restrict access to people like this who have no business having a gun because it is only done for ill will purposes. Gun violence is a tragedy in this country, and then when we see these mass shootings, it exacerbates it. But we also seem to be going a little bit numb to it. And I think it's important for us to keep it at the forefront, and so we can affect real change. We do have to end this cycle. The second thing that I wanted to comment on is about those who have been asking recently about the released draft opinion from the Supreme Court, which was all over the news for the last couple of weeks regarding abortion. The United Methodist Church as a whole is opposed to abortion as a means of birth control and gender selection, and most recently we added in 2016 for the use of eugenics. But we also recognize, as we say, that there are conflicts of life with life, where a mother's life might be endangered, or the nuance of problem pregnancies, or other social and economic circumstances that lead people to consider abortion. So what we say is that we promote safe access so that we do not cause any further conflicts of life with life and don't do any more harm. Now again, while this decision was leaked, it's not a final decision. It's a draft. All indicators are pointing that we will see an overturning of 50 years of precedent here of Roe versus Wade. And then the floodgates will be open. Particularly if that happens, here in the state of Michigan, a 1931 law will still be on the books and that make everything completely illegal here in the state. Now for me, this speaks to the problem of all-out bans on abortions. Because in my almost 25 years of ministry, I've encountered several situations where nuance is needed. And people who have needed abortions because of danger to their own life or the viability of the fetus, there are several things. Again, nuance. If they would not have had access to those, who knows what would have happened. But in the same token, we also need to have safe access because we know from experience, go back beyond those 50 years and talk to folks. They will tell you that the back alley is a reality, and it will be again, especially for those who are so desperate. Again, we are called to avoid conflicts of life with life. I'm often reminded of one of my theology professors in Christian ethics, I should say, in seminary, noted theologian and author Dr. Stanley Hauerwas. Dr. Hauerwas had said that abortion is God's judgment on the church. And in strictly speaking, when we encounter issues of abortion as a means of birth control, why have we as the church allowed there to be such a concept as an unwanted child? Point the finger back at us. And again, that societal change when it comes to those issues. But when we look at the other larger, more nuanced issues, we need to have an open mind and do our best to keep everyone safe. Now, these are just some of my opinions, but also based upon where we stand as a United Methodist Church. And if you want more information on those, you can go to umjustice.org and find out where we stand with all of our social principles, including these two issues here as well. Lastly, I briefly wanted to address again the questions that have been coming about the launch of the now Global Methodist Church on May 1st. And people have been asking, well, what does that mean? For us, here at Newburgh, it doesn't really mean anything. We voted a couple of years ago now to become a reconciling congregation and had adopted a statement of welcome affirming all people, no matter of their race, their gender, their national origin, or their sexual orientation. So for Newburgh, we are going to continue on in the United Methodist Church, whether I am here or when Pastor Chad comes here as well. And I intend to stay in the United Methodist Church as I am looking for the first time in my lifetime a more open and inclusive church. The Global Methodists have decided to split off not just about LGBTQ issues, but other administrative issues surrounding them. And God bless them if that's what they need to do. This new denomination is leaving the UMC, and they're going to forge ahead on their own. But the United Methodist Church will remain, and I hope that we will be stronger for it when we can set aside these arguments that we've been having for over 40 years now and start to move on and be able to minister to people in our context. Hopefully the Global Methodists will do the same. What I pray for them and for all of us is that there will be a safe place, particularly for LGBTQ persons to land in who can express their faith and feel a part of a fellowship. And the United Methodist Church will be here for all of that. Again, if you'd like more information on that, you can check that out on the web, and I'm happy to answer any more questions. We've got only a few more weeks left here of my time at Newburgh, but I intend to make the most of those, and I hope you will also. As we do that, and as we prepare for the next phase, I simply ask for your prayers, and I ask for your continued support as things are really ramping up now, and we're starting to get that transition underway. Like I said, I only have a few more weeks left here of the Monday Minute, but I will be back, and we'll look forward to bringing you another edition next week. Until then, stay safe and have a great week. God bless.